All right. This is actually made by the same developer as the last game I just played, Remake, that was very very painful. And I am pretty sure this game is like in a polar opposite way in terms of feelings. Like this is like as far as I know, a positive game about polyamory. Synopsis: after losing her apartment, Ivy is moving in with her girlfriends, Mace and Poppy. Will she be able to get through her anxieties and trust her lovers with her fears? A kinetic visual novel about three poly trans lesbians. I aim to make this a cozy, wholesome game. Everyone on the team did such a fabulous job bringing that vision to life. I hope you enjoy the game as much as we enjoy making it. Furry. Sorry, I'm a furry, so I like furries. Welcome home, Evie. Were you on your way home from work, like driving or on the bus or something? Just waiting for game to boot up. There we go. Yeah, this looks comforting as hell. I like writing haiku. They're short, they feel doable, just a few words, not too many to think up. Most of the time I write a poem. I'm just trying to center myself, to figure out how I'm feeling. Buckle in the backseat of a taxi, I pull out my battered composition notebook and stare at an empty page for a moment before writing what comes to mind. I try to make it sound nice. Does the driver know where I'm going, how it is, an era beginning? Writing because long drives are awkward to appear. Unbothered, calm, brave. A new place, cottage, haven. I hope it can be somewhere I can stay. I try to think of more, but I come up with a blank, so I close my notebook. Looking up, I watch the driver turn off the highway into the next lane.
It's been a long time since I've been down to this area. Not many people come here. The people who do are usually retirees or people who want to be somewhere completely different than the place they came from.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, ma'am, that's the truth.
Hearing him call me ma'am fills me with gender euphoria and relief. the driver the driver apps let you put in your pronouns, and not all the drivers respect it. It's good to find someone who does. Kind of like Mace and Poppy, who are the whole reason I'm coming down here. I smile as I think about them, and how we met. I met them in a desperate search for love. I didn't have that much experience dating people, but I knew, and I've known for a long time, that I'm polyamorous, so I gathered enough courage to sign up for a poly dating site, Vertex. That's where I met Mace and Poppy. While scrolling through profiles, I found theirs, and they were trans lesbians like me, and were looking for a third person to add to their relationship. Mace, had a mysterious yet chill vibe, and I liked its interest in divination, tarot cards, astrology, stuff like that. Poppy, they, was basically the complete opposite, cheerful and extroverted with a love for the practical things in life, like making meals and tending to her garden. They were quite the duo, and I decided to take the plunge and get to know them. It started with just text conversations on Vertex. I couldn't help but feel awkward. I mean, I barely know what they say in everyday life. How on earth could I socialize well in this kind of situation? The whole time I was worried that Mason and Poppy would say they weren't interested in me because I knew I wouldn't be interested in me. Somehow I lured them in with my babbling about finding my life's purpose and going to parks on weekends and writing poems in my journal. I guess I have charm or something, because they asked if we could go on an in-person date sometime, and so we did, at a coffee shop in my town. That's when I met the small, relaxed Mace and the tall, hyperactive Poppy for the first time. Honestly, I was worried that in my real life we wouldn't click. But then Poppy offered me some flowers and I recognized pansies in the bouquet. In the bouquet. And then we started excitedly talking about our experiences with them. She grows them in her garden. I always see them at the park. I knew everything was gonna be okay. Maybe we wouldn't be together forever, but we were together for moments I didn't think I'll ever regret. They were nice. We went on a few more dates after that. I opened up more to them, telling them about my history of homelessness and my currently unstable housing situation. They told me about their cozy cottage east of me in a town in the middle of nowhere. At night, I would go to sleep wishing that I was there with them, wrapped in their arms as I drifted off instead of shivering alone in my shitty apartment. And then, about 5 months into a new relationship, the inevitable occurred. My housing situation unstabilized. I knew things couldn't stay balanced for long. Something always makes things fall apart in my life. In this case, it was my landlord doubling the rent right before my lease was set to be renewed. I panicked. I couldn't afford that. Would I have to move out and find somewhere else to live? Alternatively, I could work myself to the bone so I can afford rent and wouldn't have to be on the street again. Maybe dying inside didn't matter as long as I had a roof over my head. I was talking, okay, more like ranting about the situation to Mace and Poppy over a video call when Mace said something that would change my life forever.
Pop, what do you think about having Ivy move in with us?
I gotta have the music be louder than this, or the sounds. Mace has a very comforting voice, but it's a little quiet. Oh, welcome back to chat, Dill. Oh gosh, I was about to have a panic attack. I was like, no, I've been muted for like 2.5 hours. This sounds like a setup to a true crime story. Does it? I don't think a lot of true crime stories go like this. It's usually not a live-in situation that leads to a true crime murder, in my experience. But then again, my true crime experience is certainly lacking. I only know the general pantheon of serial killers, unfortunately. Those are words that just spilled out of my mouth without me thinking about it. I looked at Mace in complete shock. Poppy looked surprised too.
What? I mean, it's not like we haven't been talking about it. Ivy's become important to us, and we have plenty of space. I think it could be good for everyone.
Well, we have been talking about it.
She looked thoughtfully at me for a moment, then smiled.
Alright, why not? What's that line you have, Mace? About the universe giving people signs? I think it couldn't have given us a bigger sign if it tried.
So you'll really?
Yes, Ivy. We'd love for you to move in with us.
I think it's funny, the whole like U-Haul lesbian stereotype, because it does exist and I have experienced it more than once, but it's not even U-Haul lesbian, it's U-Haul queers in general. And unfortunately, it doesn't come from the fact that like queers are just so much invested in a relationship early on that they'll totally risk all the things that come with moving in with someone very quickly. It's the fact that queers often have destabilized home lives, and it is partially a necessity. Although sometimes you just like someone so much. On that day, I was filled with relief, euphoria, and love for the people who care for me, and I for them. But now that it's actually happening, I'm nervous as hell. A voice in the back of my head keeps asking questions. Is 5 months too soon to be moving in together? What if we end up clashing now that we're sharing the same space? Surely I'll interrupt whatever homeostasis Mace and Poppy have been going on in their house. I'm gonna mess everything up, and then I take a deep breath, forcing myself to try and relax. In an effort to distract myself, I glance at the taxi driver's GPS screen, then send a text in our trio's group chat. I'm almost there, just a few minutes away. There. Cool. See you soon, dearie. I smile and put my phone away as the taxi comes to a stop. I look out my window to see we're on the main street of a small town. I don't see a cottage anywhere. But then the taxi driver rolls down the window and calls out to a nearby passerby.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm looking for a cottage at 1 Starford Lane.
You'll want to go down towards the woods there and take a right on the road in. You'll see the cottage on your left.
Ah, got it. Thank you. Appreciate your help.
Why is the taxi driver a human? I'm just asking questions. He rolls down the window and backs up, driving away. Damn! Idyllic ass queers! What the fuck? Oh, it's queer cottagecore, obviously. New relationships. Being invited to a cabin in the middle of nowhere when you're vulnerable? Mom watches a lot of these. Ah, I see. I wasn't super focused on the cottage part. The living in the middle of nowhere part. Maybe I could have. A few minutes later, he turns into the road and I set the cottage up down the stone path. I see the cottage up down the stone path, as well as Mace and Poppy standing outside of it. They smile and walk towards the car. Their home is as cozy as I've imagined it would look. The cottage is made of redwood, and the roof and front door are both a bright, sunny yellow. There's a garden out front, and a little wooden fence around the whole lot. Wind chimes hung near the door make their sounds, and my heart skips a beat. I've never heard a homier sound. The driver pulls up into the gravel driveway, and I hear him open the trunk as I step out of the car with my backpack slung over my
You
shoulder.
need me to get your bags?
No, I've got it. Thank you.
Already. You have a good day, ma'am.
I take my suitcase and duffel bag out of the trunk, and once I close it, the driver takes off. As I watch him go, someone comes charging at me. I turn just in time to see Poppy coming in for a big hug.
Ivy!
Oh my god! They've made it so she's really close to simulate the fact that, like, she surprised me with a hug. I love that. I love that so much. Damn, I gotta make a visual novel soon. She glomps me so hard I almost fall over, but I managed to stabilize myself and hug her back.
It's good to see you too, Pop.
When Poppy lets go, I see that Mace is now standing near us. It holds out its hand.
Glad you made it here in one piece.
When I try to shake hands, Mace instead takes my hand gently and traces its fingers over my palm.
You definitely have the water element from these lines here. Which makes sense since you're a Pisces. Head and heart line are both smooth. Unbroken, that's good. Lifeline, on the other hand.
Oh, what's the lifeline? Is it super short or super long? It looks up at me, and even though Mace has no visible eyes or facial features, I know it's a sympathetic expression.
You've had a hard journey through life, that's for sure.
Okay, honey, let's dial it back a bit, huh? I think you're scaring her.
Oh, I'm not scared. I just wasn't expecting it. That's all.
No worries. Sorry, I was super drawn to your hand, so I took that as a sign I should finally read it instead of shaking it. I kind of got distracted, I guess.
Oh my god, Mace is so cute.
It's fine. Honestly, I should have expected it sooner.
I suppose that's true. Anyway, do you want me to take your bags?
Oh, sure. Thanks, Pop.
No problem. Let's get you inside, shall we?
Mace opens the door at the cottage, and Poppy skips inside.
Thanks, love.
Mace turns to me.
After you.
Okay. Thanks.
with that, I step inside. Wild to be welcome into a relationship, a house, some magic. Okay. The interior of the cottage is both not what I expected and yet something I should have expected. It captures Mace and Poppy's personalities perfectly. The walls are pink with white flowers painted on them. It and the fridge are covered in various framed pieces, large tarot card illustrations, art of Lovecraftian gods, flower prints, comments featuring cute puppies and kitties. Yep, that's Mace and Poppy, alright. I can't help but wonder if I'll fit into all this. The two of them are already so tight-knit. Will I be able to become part of their relationship as important to them as they are to each other? I didn't know. It's scary to not know. Mace's voice interrupts my thoughts.
Poppy went upstairs to put your bags in our room. She'll be back in a second.
I glance around and see that, indeed, it's just me and Mace.
Poppy made a great dinner for us tonight. She's really excited for you to try it.
Oh, that's great.
I won't tell you what she made because she wanted to tell you herself, but trust me, you're gonna love it.
Another spike of anxiety. What if I don't? I'm not allergic to anything, but I can be a picky eater at times. Poppy comes back downstairs and turns to me, smiling and wringing her hands together.
All right, that's done. Oh, I should give you a little tour, shouldn't I? You put your coat over here. Oh, wait, you don't have a coat. I'm sorry, I'm already messing this up.
Mace puts a hand on Poppy's shoulder.
Honey, deep breath. Relax.
It's hard to not relax when Mace tells me to.
You're right.
She takes a few deep breaths, closing her eyes, then she opens her eyes. She looks more confident.
Right. What now, do you think?
How about we go to the kitchen? We can give Ivy the tour later.
You got the right idea, my love. Oh, Ivy, you're going to love my dish.
She privately skips over to the kitchen. I'm a little enchanted by the way she moves. Mace and I follow behind.
I hope you don't mind. The kitchen is a bit of a mess right now.
Really? It looks pretty clean to me.
Spotless, in fact.
Oh, there's a mess on the counter. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Might I ask how long you're going for tonight? I'm going to cook. Oh, I had wanted to play one more game after this, but I'm gonna end after this so that we can jump on Rivals with you later, Del. Since we're already past the point that we were supposed to play with you. So you should get cooking right now. I don't think this game is that long, so it'll probably be done in like 30 minutes. Thanks for asking. I didn't expect these to take as long as they have been. But it's been nice. She grabs a piece of paper towel and wipes the spot vigorously. It looks fine to me. I'm reminded of our first date when Poppy was trying to make the whipped cream on her hot chocolate into a symmetrical shape. Some kind of precise energy. Oh, maybe it's OCD. Mace turns to me.
I'm sure you know Poppy can get pretty particular, but she gets more particular when she's nervous. You'll get used to it.
Oh, yeah, I actually am kind of like that too. Poppy turns to us, blushing.
Nice. You didn't have to tell her I'm nervous.
It's okay. I'm kind of nervous too.
Really?
Yeah. At least I know I'm not the only one kind of losing my mind a little bit here.
Oh yeah, I definitely am. Honestly.
She takes my hand and gently squeezes it.
Thanks, hon. I appreciate you.
I blush. She lets go of my hand and smiles at me.
Now, what do you say we go eat? I think you'll really like what I've made.
Yeah, Mace was really hyping it up. I'm excited to try it.
Heavens, I hope it's something I'll like. I wonder if it won't be. I start counting syllables. 575, 575.
Mace, you didn't tell Ivy what it is, did you?
Of course not, babe. I know you wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, phew, good. That's a relief.
Want me to help you put plates on the table?
Yes, please, dear. Ivy, you can sit down and relax.
Mace gestures to one of the chairs and goes to the other side of the kitchen with Poppy. I sit down, noticing that my chair looks different from the other two. I like it came from the living room instead of the kitchen. Poppy comes over with a big tray from the oven, and Mace comes over with a giant bowl. As they place them on the table, Poppy smiles wide.
Ta-da! Chili and cornbread.
I want chili and cornbread.
Oh. Oh. I've never had that combination before.
I had that combination a lot growing up. I thought it was like a black thing. Well, actually not the chili part, just the cornbread. Cornbread is like a black people staple, at least in America.
You'll love it, babe. And Poppy's recipe, oh, it's to die for.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Poppy kisses the top of Mace's
Oh,
head.
let me get condiments and things.
While you do that, I'll get plates for everyone.
As Poppy and Mace start to do that, I start counting syllables again, this time on my fingers. 575. Haiku don't have to be so strict, but I like the challenge. The counting. Haiku, an attempt to make art out of little with meager possessions. 3 lines, 3 people. The lines on my hand that you softly trace, reading. A moment later, a variety of food additions are on the table. Butter, sour cream, shredded cheese. Oh, yes. One of those Mexican-style mixes, sriracha sauce, and tortilla chips. Everyone has a bowl, small plate, and a spoon. Poppy and May sit down on the table.
Dig in.
At the table. At the table. I put some chili into my bowl and take a piece of cornbread too. I see Poppy watching me as she takes her own food. I scoop a spoonful of chili, blow on it, and then put it in and a bite of cornbread into my mouth at the same time. Might as well dive into the deep end, right? The robust and slightly spicy flavor of the chili mixes surprisingly well with the rich and sweet cornbread. It brings a smile to my face. Yay! She liked the food! Victory! Poppy smiles and clasps her hands together excitedly.
You like it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, hooray! I'm so relieved. I was really worried you might hate it.
Oh, babe, I told you Ivy's a sweet and spicy kind of girl.
I know. I was just worried. This whole thing has made me really nervous, I guess.
Hearing that makes me feel guilty. I don't want to cause Poppy anxiety. What if it's worse for her and me being here?
I'm sorry if I know it's only been a few months.
No, it's not that. You're fine. I'm so excited that you're here.
Poppy eats a spoonful of chili before she continues to speak.
Mace and I, we're familiar with each other. We know each other well. So when I'm with it, everything slides neatly into place. With you, it's different. You're new to our relationship, and that makes things unpredictable sometimes. Which is a good thing, for the most part, because we wanted to be with someone new. But not being able to predict the outcome of things makes me feel anxious sometimes.
True.
I'm sorry.
Poppy looks worried and she reaches over, putting her hand on top of mine.
No, it's not your fault. We want you to be here. Change just makes me uneasy sometimes, even when it's good. Things are going to change around here. It's going from my and Mace's space to my, Mace's, and your space. We'll be learning how each person lives in everyday life and adjusting ourselves accordingly. It's a journey, and I want to go on it with you, Ivy. Even if I'm anxious, my love is more abundant than my fears. I hope you know that.
my god. Shut the fuck up, Poppy. I sniffle and I try to, and I can feel tears trickling down my face.
I can't help but feel guilty.
Guilty? Why?
Because things keep falling through for me. Housing is never stable. Everything always changes. If I wasn't so unlucky, then I wouldn't need to move in with you. It's like I'm cursed.
May shakes its head.
I may believe in a lot of spiritual things, Ivy, but I don't believe people are cursed. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, Ivy. Plus, we wouldn't have asked you to be here if we didn't want you here. So please, don't feel guilty.
I wipe away my tears.
Thanks, you two. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Is it too soon to say I love you under the same roof as we are?
We really love you, you know?
They love me? They love me.
I love you both too.
Sometimes the only words you have are the simple truths. Poppy gives me a smile.
This house is going to be a good home for all three of us. You'll see.
Thanks. I can't wait.
As we eat dinner and talk together, I can't help but write one more haiku in my head. Poppies, pansies, your eldritch gods, your yellow door. I love you too. End. Okay, that was actually the shortest one. But that made me cry. That made me fucking cry. Because of course, I mean, I've been in that situation twice. That I can remember in my head unless I'm blocking it out. Was there a polyamorous jam? And I didn't know about it? Heck. I mean, the current living situation I'm in right now is very similar to this, except, you know, not... I mean, we are polyamorous, it's just there wasn't another partner in here when I moved in. But just hitting off with someone, getting into a relationship, feeling good about the relationship, and then, oh shit, my housing situation is fucked up, I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, I mean, you could try living with me. And it's like, I don't want to impose, but if you feel up for it. And we're getting close to 4 years living together, I think. And I think we're pretty happy. I know it doesn't help that the only PNG I have for for this talking head right now is me looking sad, but I assure you I am smiling. This was actually the perfect palette cleanser for that other game that was from the same dev. Like, actually beautiful. Gosh, yeah, remake hurt me so much, but I love you too definitely healed me.